and the verdict is still out on how many seasons Belichick will coach. As as currently the over under is at 2.5. You said 4, I say 3. So we're gonna see how this plays out, because then they go into the next thing. Didn't you hear something about like
It does. It rolls
whether
right into the next topic of. So UNC is committed to keeping Bill for at least one more year. And boy, does Luke DeCock have a problem with this. And funny thing is, this article wasn't even written by him. This was written by somebody else.
Mm.
But basically, they're talking about like when Bill got there, the question was like how are they going to be able to keep him, right? Then, not too long after the season ended, the question switched from how they're going to keep him, or like, bro, it went from how long will he stay to how long are they wanting him to stay?
Mm. That what?
Yeah. That narrative switched real quick. Exactly. Because that narrative switched real quick. So
How long do
basically,
you want him to stay is crazy work.
yeah. So, according to Greg Barnes of Inside Carolina, the USC is going to at least keep him for one more year. And they're saying the disappointing season has sparked concerns that it's not going to work for Belichick at the college level. However, a quick scuttling of the experiment would spark a total buyout in the range of $30 million. And Luke DeCock of Raleigh News and Observer does not agree. And he makes a very strong case as to why North Carolina should just go ahead, write the check, cut your losses, try again next year.
Oof.
And boy, he says he was always a bad fit as a college coach, a role where, unlike the NFL, your public demeanor is a big part of the job. What's it going to cost North Carolina to move on? What's it going to take for Belichick to save face? What's the price of a reset button? Whatever it costs, it's time to pay it. Whatever has to happen behind the scenes, it's time to do it. They broke it. Now they'll have to buy it.
Jesus Christ. Luke DeCock, you are oof. Oof.
Luke
That man is
Luke
fed
has not
up.
been a fan. Luke has not been a fan at all.
That
And to
man is
be
fed
honest
up.
with you, I understand. I get it. I do. I get where he's coming from on it, because they're also saying when it comes down to the offseason, Lombardi's plan to bloat the roster with a bunch of freshmen is a real risky kind of move. Because right now, what you need are better players. You need better players, and it's already been shown clearly that they didn't pick enough good players in 2025. But they're going to get a second chance in 2026. But
I
one
I
could
don't think
argue
that's
that
that
it might require Belichick to do it with a new GM.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this. Bolstering the talent with freshmen coming in isn't necessarily a bad move. That's not a bad move if you have a great to really solid class that's committed to coming in and you have enough foundational players from last year's team coming back. The issue with last year's team is that we brought in essentially a whole new squad of players and we didn't have the coaching staff to make it work. But if you have a solid group foundation from this team that's like, hey, yo, we not allowing us to be this bad again, and the freshmen coming in, now the upperclassmen, the new sophomores, juniors, and seniors are like, nah, hey, yo, freshmen, y'all are talented, but you know what y'all not about to do? Slack off to where we look that bad again. So I'm not against
I mean, that's fair.
that's the argument I would make for bolstering. However, if it flops, if it's bad, you got to get rid of Lombardi. You got to get rid of Belichick. You got to get rid of Kitchens. You got to get rid of somebody in that coaching staff. I don't know who it
Well,
is,
like
but you got to get rid of
I said, the
somebody.
argument can be made. Because I said an argument can be made that the second chance may require Belichick to have a different GM. Because you have to remember when you get when you're doing this, because the college level is about quality of players and not just the quantity of players you bring in. And from what one could argue at this point is that Lombardi and Belichick, even after they admitted, yeah, we jumped into the portal a little bit late, you went for quantity over quality.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that not saying that all of the guys that came in were bad, because clearly a lot of them made major contributions from transfer portal. I said CJ Mims for a perfect example, Kamari House for an example, Andrew Simpson for another example.
Yeah.
Thaddeus Dixon is a perfect example. So you had a lot of guys that you went out and got that were good quality guys. But the problem was there was, in my opinion, the quality of trying to get that team to be a team from the coaching standpoint was not up to snuff. You weren't prepared because you remember early in the season, Bill was even admitted it's been a learning curve. The problem is
y'all thought it was sweet. Y'all thought it was sweet.
exactly
Y'all thought it was sweet. Y'all thought just because of who you were, based off your name, based off y'all having NFL experience, coming down to the college level, y'all thought it was going to be easy to get these kids to buy in, and you thought whatever scheme you ran at the college level was easily going to work, and you weren't going to have an issue because we all saw what Bill was putting out at the beginning of the year. We're going to be the 33rd NFL team. We're developing pros here. We're the 33rd, we're the development program, so on and so forth. And one thing that both of us, you and I, talked about, yeah, you can be the 33rd NFL team, but are you the 33rd NFL team only preparing NFL prospects, or are you trying to compete for national championships in college football? Because guess what?
Or at least bowl games, at least conference championships.
Right.
Because what happens was, which I think what they also didn't realize. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm going to let you finish.
Oh, no, you're good. Because all I was going to say is, guess what? Georgia competing for championships and got NFL talent. Alabama during Saban's year competing for championships had NFL talent. The 2 years Clemson was on the door and on the top, had NFL talent and were competing for championships. Ohio State right now got the talent, as much as I hate to admit it, have the talent and competing for championships. You can do both, and that's what's anticipated here. You don't want to be just a school of just like, oh, I mean, yeah, you can get to the NFL from here. But are you going to compete for a title? No, because that's how you get fired. That's how you end up in a situation where you're like the Pittsburgh Steelers, where you're just cool with being 500, but you're not competing for anything for 10, 15 years. Sorry, Chris. It is what it is.
Because like the real thing is, I think what was ignored was, one, in the college landscape. Sure, like in the NFL, you have pretty established systems in the NFL. Like you can kind of go and expect a general idea of what kind of offenses you're going to see, what kind of defenses you're going to see. At the college level, they're experimenting here. You'll see some stuff that you never expected to see at the college level. You will see playbooks getting written up in a way that you think, oh, this is some backyard BS. Oh yeah, bro, and you know what? With NFL level talent, we're going to make it work. Because at the end of the day, we're trying to win. Because we know if we win, that's going to get these kids looked at, and it's going to get them to the next level. When you come in thinking, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to automatically establish this as an NFL-like program. But the thing is, what you should have been doing when you first came in is, what are we going to need to do to win games while I establish this is what it is?
It's like you win games, you attract talent. You attract the talent, then you can start building the program you way to want. That's what. Let's keep it real. Winning attracts kids. Winning attracts athletes. Absolutely. Athletes want to be a part of winning programs, or at least programs that are on the come up. They at least want to be part of a program that's on the come up.
Right, and it can be easily said, the reason why you attracted the players that you attracted at all, and even these recruits that you attracted already, is 100% because you're Bill Belichick. You're gone down as one of the greatest NFL coaches of all time, as one of the greatest football minds in football history at this point.
Let's throw
So you also so that alone attracted players to you. But now that they're having to see, okay, can you put a team together at this level? That brings that into question.
For sure.
Seeing a 4-8 where there's a lot of games where you should have won or at least look better. Because
Mhm.
what we've said before, the team looked like
Dog water at
like
times.
most of the losses, the team looked like a high school squad going against a professional team.
I knew it was
It was
up.
like you brought middle school.
Well,
It's like you brought middle schoolers to a college game, told them to suit up because whatever.
I knew there was something up with this team, and we weren't going to be as good as we thought after the UNC Charlotte game, because there's no
Oh yeah,
way we only beat UNC Charlotte 20-3. And if we're keeping it a buck, looking back at that game, like if we are keeping it a whole stack, as I look at the numbers of this game, we were only up 17-3 at half and only scored 3 points the rest of the game versus UNC Charlotte. Again, no shade to UNC Charlotte. Y'all should understand what it is. Y'all knew that was a paycheck game. We all know that was a paycheck game. But the funny part that UNC Charlotte kind of hung around the way they did, and UNC couldn't even hang 21. You couldn't even get 3 full touchdowns. You had 2 touchdowns and 2 field goals. That's when we knew something was up. That's when we knew this offense was off. And to your point about winning and how we said winning attracts, right? I got a great comparison. Instead of Bill Belichick, Jeff Fisher. Do you think he pulls in half the talent Bill Belichick pulls if they hire him at the exact same time?
Oh no.
Absolutely not. Like, let's call it for what it is. You don't like if you aren't winning or have winning associated with your name, you're not pulling talent like that. You're not pulling in those players because players want to be a part of a program. Either they see is on the come up, like they see the potential of what it's going to be, or it's already established winning. No player, I'm sorry, and this counts myself. No player wants to go to a school that it's past its prime and is going into losing territory. Like they're not going to be able to compete at all. No
And
true
like
player
sure,
who wants a championship, who wants to compete for a
right.
championship, wants to go to a program that's losing. That a selfish player would because they're like, oh, I'm gonna get my numbers and I'm gonna get my stats and I'm gonna look good. But if your real goal at the end of the day is I want to win titles, I want to win championships with my bros, with my squad, with my team, you want to go to a program that either you see the vision and the foundation, you're like, okay, we're gonna get there eventually, we're only a few pieces here and there, or it's a program that's knocking on the doorstep. And what does every athlete say? I'm the game changer. I'm the piece that can change that. I'm the player that can put them over the top and get them to where they need to be.
And sure, you'll get those couple of unicorns that join a team that's about to go into a rebuild or join a team that's not great based off of, oh, I've always loved this team since I was so and so and I've always wanted to play for them, or
Right.
I see what's coming over the horizon and I'm willing to put in the time and the work and the effort to see where it goes. There's a couple that, yeah, you'll get a few that are like that. But most of the time, when you got kids that go to these bigger schools, their goal is to get from this school to the next level of play. And sure, once again, and sure, I don't think that when some of these players leave this program and go to that next level, I don't think any of them will be unprepared for the NFL when they leave this program. I don't think they'll be like that. But the problem is when you have teams that go onto a field and look like you brought a middle school team, a middle school squad to scrimmage a college squad at a football camp. when you go out there and look like the kids versus the mascots,
Mm-hmm.
when it looks like that week after week after week, you have to figure something out. You have to, there needs to be something fixed. Either something needs to be fixed or something needs to be removed or someone or somebody. But at the end of the day, it needs, something needs to be done. And
Facts.
luckily, at least for the defensive side of the ball, things were done because the defense stepped up in a major way come conference play.
Oh, for sure.
And with the offense, it's like you saw flashes of good things here and there, but when you have a rotating offensive line that isn't the same five people every week, sometimes you may get the same three, but when you're rotating offensive linemen in and out every week because you can't find a unit that just gels, or when you're doing a running back by committee because you haven't figured out who your actual starting running back is, or when you have a moment where you have a quarterback that is struggling to the nth degree,
And
and then you put in when you put in his backup that is more seasoned and more proven, and he looks like he's struggling, then to me,
that's an offensive coordinator problem. That,
that's a coaching problem. That is
there's
a big coaching problem. And me and you've talked about it before. At this, especially this season alone, I know what a bad offense coordinator looks like at
mm-hmm.
this point. And if
I
any
bet
of y'all have watched the Falcons play at all, you also know what a bad coordinator looks like.
I know what an inconsistent coordinator looks like. Hey, I can tell you that. I know what an inconsistent coordinator looks like.
We've seen inconsistent and we've seen bad. And bad thing is, Freddie Kitchens has been both.
That is facts. That is facts.
And Freddie Kitchens has been both this year. He has been both a bad coordinator and inconsistent all season. And what's even wilder, you see the good coordinating the first drive of a game, and
It's
we
either the
won't see
first
it
drive.
again
It's
the
either the first
last
drive of the
drive.
game, or it's either the first drive of the game, the first drive out of halftime, or it's the last drive when they're being desperate.
Or the last drive of the game. You may see good coordination 3 times max per game. Everything else is just a struggle and hope the defense makes plays for you to keep you in a game until you figure something out. After that, you have to rely on your kicker to win you games.
Which,
Once again,
again,
nothing
shout
against
out
Reese
Reese
Verhall
Beerhall.
because
Hey,
once
because you
again,
are a
dude was
baller.
clutch.
Only thing we need you to do is just get your distance up. That's it.
Shoot,
We
then, remember, he set a record this year.
He did. I just want him to have more records because if I'm being honest, I want Reese to get drafted. I want Reese to get
I would
drafted.
love Reese to get drafted.
I want Reese to get drafted and be a really good kicker in the NFL for years to come.
I want him to continue to succeed. Tell you true, even if you don't get drafted, Reese, I want you to succeed with it in whatever it is you're doing because
Listen,
you put in the work, you will
hey, Reese,
deserve it.
I know
But
a guy in the NFL right now you can replace easily. His name is Eddie
say,
Pinheiro. You can easily go get that man. There's another
say,
man out there named Young Wei Koo who probably is about to lose his job after what he did in New England last night. Did you see what he did?
nope, didn't even watch that game.
Bro.
I heard that he missed it, but that's all.
No. Dog. You know what? Continue talking. I'm gonna pull it up for you because I want you to see this. It's that bad.
But like, and because even Jordan Shipp said himself that the team has played black. The team has played bad. The execution has been bad from all levels. And when you have, and luckily enough, I was happy to hear it from a player that they're frustrated about it too. But when you have the whole fan base saying the same thing, analysts saying the same thing, players saying the same thing, something has to break, man. And hopefully they figure it out over this offseason because you have more time than some of your competition at this point to figure it out. Because if you don't figure it out after this season and we have another season of this ridiculous mediocrity,